Hey everybody, it's Lloyd with Perfect Crust Pizza Liners and Incredible Bags. Super happy to be joined today by Justin Wadstein. And some of you know Justin really, really well, and some may not. And if not, you should. He's a 13-time world pizza champion. In terms of kind of if you know about him, you probably know about his incredible acrobatics. I've been lucky enough to see him perform in person, and it kind of blew my mind. And but in addition to that, he makes some great pizza, and so we're going to be talking about that and kind of about what's ahead. And welcome, Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Lloyd. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's funny, we have met in person, but obviously with the pandemic, etc. I think this is the first time we're even chatting by video in a while, and so it's great to see you. And again, some of the things that I know you've done are household names like Ripley's Believe It or Not or Game of Talents on Fox. There's a fantastic video that you did for Wired. I think the Queen Latifah show. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I'm just forgetting to name, and you can fill in the blanks.
Yeah, let me see. Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Ripley's was a big one. I traveled with them actually. I went to several spots around the country, and then I was in the book, and they did like a really cool shots around San Francisco. It was like San Francisco, like on the cliffs and next to the Golden Gate. Just all kinds of really cool shots. Tony was in it for a minute, Tony Giambiani.
Yep.
And then Queen Latifah. I did a Japanese space show a couple times, where like the dough symbolized something going on in the universe. That was really cool. So yeah, all kinds of different Good Morning America. A lot of things over the years have just happened to come along, so it's been really cool.
Yeah, and you maybe it's because I'm an old person, but you strike me as a young person. So to have achieved so much, you must have started out really, really young.
Yeah, I started at my grandparents' shop when I was 14 or 13, actually. And like the spinning it was never a thing I sought out. I didn't know it existed. And in high school, I got pretty good at spinning towels and stuff, watching the cooks, because I was actually so small when I started working there that I couldn't work the pizza line because I wasn't like tall enough to make the pizzas or run the oven. So I'd be in the back washing dishes, and I'd spin towels. In class, I would spin binders, and it ended up being like I would bet kids money, lunch money, that I could spin certain things. So I got to a folding chair, and so I'd say, "Hey, $5, I bet you anything I can spin that chair." And no way. And so I'd spin it, and I ended up doing that for my first competition that I won in Vegas, which was I think 2006, 2005 or 6, but I think 6. And I got a perfect score, which as far as I know is like one of the only perfect scores ever in the acrobatics. But I did a routine to Huey Lewis, Heart of Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
And at the end, I pretended I didn't have any dough to spin, and I grabbed the folding chair and spun it. And it was like the craziest feeling. I got like standing ovation from the judges, and it was the coolest thing. I think I was 19 years old. So just having that, and then I got on the World Pizza Champions. Tony invited me. I'm pretty sure I was the first invited member. I'm pretty sure, looking back. And I was going to Italy, 6 months later with them. And I had never been on a plane before I went to Vegas for my first competition. I'd never been out of the state. So,
really? Oh, wow.
And a year later, I'm going to Italy, and I went to Istanbul with Siler Chapman and Jay Sherman, and all kinds of crazy different experiences.
Yeah, including the flames. The flames is always the thing that blows my mind. And I think at the time in Italy, they were not prepared for you, right? They were like,
no. And we I can't remember the exact story, but we basically, my buddy had seen on YouTube this wooden board, like fire tornado thing. And so he was like, we should try it. And we literally, me and my buddy in my backyard at a barbecue, we're just like at a party, basically, we decided to try it in my backyard. So we took a towel, hammered it to the board, and put it like kerosene or something, and lit it on fire and spun it, and it worked. So I tried it in Italy. And the morning of, me and some of the team members, and I specifically remember John Gutentos was filming in the back of this gymnasium. That was like, okay, we got to try this before I light it on fire in a gymnasium full of people.
Right.
And you know, we just went for it and it worked. And then I was doing it in front of several hundred people inside of a gymnasium. And this video is, you know, it's like a towel with gasoline basically that was lit. And I'm spinning it, and it did do like a little lightning bolt of fire. But then it started disintegrating, and like little fireballs started shooting off. And there's this epic picture of just this giant, you know, it's like me with this giant flame. And in the back, there's like firefighters just sitting there watching me as these like fireballs are shooting off. It was totally awesome. I've actually been working on some new fire stuff that's a little safer than shooting fireballs everywhere. I designed like this board. I just posted a video on TikTok where it's like the tiki torch candle things, wicks.
Yeah.
And it shoots, it's really cool because it shoots up almost like a lightning bolt of fire, but it's a consistent bolt of fire. Like it'll go as long as you want to, and the flame stays with it, so I don't have to worry about yeah, I've done a lot of crazy fire stuff. When I was on Game of Talents, I did a firecracker dough, and that was cool. But when we practiced it, you know, when the firefighter came in because they have to sign off, obviously for any sets fire stuff, they got to have a firefighter sign off. Well, the pyrotechnic guys were like, "You want to step it up? Let's do a firecracker dough." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm all about it." So we do the glue, and they put these little beads of firecracker stuff. But they didn't warn me. There was no protective goggles. There was no, you know, fire gel, nothing. And in the practice, I light it, and it's spraying fire down. And I'm eyes closed in front of firefighters spinning it. You know, the training to get to the on stage part was a little bit dangerous, but it came out beautiful on stage because I had like full protective fire stuff, gel, glasses, and it just looked like super vibrant little mini explosions. It was really cool.
Yeah, you mentioned TikTok, and I saw you kind of teasing out a TikTok thing and saying, "Hey, if you have a TikTok, follow me." And the thing that I saw was really, really cool. So it sounds like there's more cool stuff coming, right? On TikTok.
Yeah, I'm trying to. So what I want to do is I want to make the TikTok not only about the spinning, but also about the cooking, and generate like a bunch of followers, and then use that as a platform to like teach people how to spin, make great pizza, you know, from start to bottom. So like once I build the followers and stuff, I'll get it to where I can teach people how to make great dough, and, you know, like a cool interactive video that's not only like how to cook great pizza, but like the show aspect. So it'll cover all kinds of pizza, different things on pizza. I think TikTok is like, now people are realizing what it can be, like even me included,
right?
That you can share a video and not have a lot of followers. Like yesterday, I shared a video, just a short 7-second clip of the inside of the oven with the flames and the pizza and coming back. And I had, you know, 70 followers, and overnight it's up to almost 50,000 views, I think.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
The difference on TikTok is you can come up with a cool video that catches, and you're more likely on TikTok to get a huge number of views without having a lot of followers than any other platform. It's an awesome new platform, actually.
Yeah, that's really, really great. No, and yeah, I encourage people, if they haven't seen your stuff, to seek it out, all the stuff that we mentioned. But you know, the acrobatic part, honestly, lately with your feed, I've seen some great pizzas. And so I think that's kind of an exciting thing that's coming up for you. I do think it's a great time to talk with you, because it does sound like there's some new things coming up. But before we get there, just kind of want to talk real briefly about kind of where we've been. You know, when the pandemic hit, you have a mobile pizza operation. probably dependent on events that were immediately shut down. And so, kind of wanted to talk with you about what that's been like, what the year's been like, and how it's looking for the future.
Yeah, the year was, for us, I mean, nobody had good timing, obviously, and everybody had their own struggle. But our struggle was, so sleight of hand pizza has been, a baby of mine in my head for a very long time. But going mobile gave me an avenue to do it, because I don't have investors. I don't have family that can loan me money. We just don't have, we can't get money anywhere. So we needed something small that we could invest in and, work our way up. So I left Pizza My Heart. I was general managing for them, and I got a trailer set up from a World Pizza Champions team member. And we had done a few years of mobile, which our first year, we didn't hardly make anything, because you're doing everything you can do and you're taking losses to get your name out there.
Right.
Liza couldn't work because I'm, doing the mobile. So we didn't have that second income. So the year before COVID was our first successful year, and that all went to acquire debt. And then COVID happened. We finally had that season, including our first event was Netflix headquarters, which is right over the hill from me.
Yeah.
And it was it was corporate. It was Netflix corporate. So that was a huge event for us. And that fell, and then, domino effect, and bars closed, and, just everything kind of paused for us.
Yeah.
So it took a few months for us to kind of figure out what we were going to do. We were going to wait on everything, and the restrictions, because we didn't have a food truck at that point for several months, it was kind of iffy if we could even do it with the mobile, because it's not an enclosed food truck. So the permit stuff is a little bit different. So what we decided to do is Liza went back to work, my wife, at her restaurant, because we kind of needed the guaranteed money. And we made sleight of hand a background thing, and instead of in the forefront,
right?
Just because it made sense. So sleight of hand became side money. I put time and effort into my daughter and her online school, and she was home all the time. Trying to keep a 5-year-old entertained during all this was, its own challenge. Awesome, but its own challenge.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And we did sleight of hand as a side thing, and I was able to learn a lot about different types of doughs. We were able to kind of rein everything in. Gave me that time to rein everything in, say, okay, so going forward, how are we going to make this better? How are we going to, do less and make more, or pick and choose, not do every single thing, do like the bigger events, and then possibly get to the next step where we're at a store and we have a truck, or we have 2 trucks, or so it really gave us time to figure everything out, learn a little more. And this season, I've had 4 weddings. Thankfully, everything's back. The vaccines are kicking in right as spring comes. And so we've had 4 big events. We actually got a new trailer, a used trailer.
Yeah.
We had some structural issues with my other trailer. And so going down the line, in a few months, I'll have the other trailer rebuilt, and we'll either run 2 trucks, or we'll sell it and invest it into our setup we have now. But yeah, we're totally booked solid pretty much through next November. And
that's great. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And we're doing only big events. My wife is now GM of the restaurant she started going back to. So we have dual incomes, which is amazing. So hopefully over the next year, what we'll do is we'll save a bunch of money and then take a bigger step. We're not sure what that is, but we definitely have some ideas on it.
That's great. And so the booking part ahead looks good for you. That's great. That's really good news.
Yeah. We are doing like huge events, and knowing what we're getting into. That's the thing about mobile too, is you don't know what you're getting into. And if you don't have events the next day,
Mhm.
then you're kind of all that food, the dough is,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
there's a lot of guesswork in pop-ups. And if you're doing too many pop-ups that aren't guaranteed to be busy, you're probably not making what you should make. So I also have some ideas. I'm trying to write a children's book. I don't want to get too into it, but it's about pizza and autism.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm going to pair it with raising money for autism, hopefully on a national, if not global scale. I've been thinking
Uh-huh.
about this for a really long time. So the goal for this year is to raise serious money for autism. I have a niece and nephew. My niece is, nonverbal. My nephew is high functioning. So it kind of hits home. And I've been working on this kid's book for a really long time. And hopefully by the end of this year, it's kind of all come together. So I'm working on that a lot too.
Oh, that's great. That sounds wonderful. We'll be, please keep us updated on that. It's wonderful that you use your skills and talents to support a cause like that. And, helping kids in particular is just something that, we all need to be doing. And I'm just really looking forward to that. I think that's wonderful news.
Yeah, it should be really good. Yeah, if this book idea is just, it's amazing. It's gonna highlight autism in a kind of a perfect way.
Yeah.
So and yeah, I'm with a Santa Cruz rep, where he's kind of the rep here of a national autism raising money for autism
Uh-huh.
um, thing. So I'm in contact with him, and I'm hoping to once a month locally, I'm going to start locally, but once a month locally, get people behind donating X amount of money, every last Monday of the month or something like that, 10%, and start with 10 businesses behind it, get to 100 businesses behind it, and kind of work my way up. But yeah, there's some big things in the works. So it's pretty great. I was able
Yeah,
to,
that's,
through Game of Talents, I got on local news,
mhm.
and they're running little mini commercials because the local person is, on Game of Talents. So Fox is running these mini commercials. And one of the mini commercials is me talking about raising money for autism and that, getting the county behind it. And so it's going to be like a little jump off spot for me to like pull it off. I'm really excited about it, actually.
Yeah, I really applaud you. I mean, that's just really taking on life and playing, on the field and for a good cause. So that's fantastic. It kind of sort of makes me think of a question that I wanted to touch on, and that is, you've achieved, as a high level of success and visibility at a relatively young age. And I ask this of a lot of the people that I interview is, who inspires you? Who do you find inspirational? What's kind of helped you achieve that?
So um, I would say like some of my biggest inspirations, John Gutentost, as far as like chef, his
Uh-huh.
the stuff he puts on Facebook, and it's just every single thing is so creative, so different, so beautiful.
Yes.
So he's like a main inspiration as far as cooking goes, and I'm sure like a lot of other pizza people would totally agree with me.
Yes.
Everything I see, I'm like, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. Like
That baked thing looks outrageous. I don't know what that is, but I want
and
it.
it's like a consistent a couple times a week I see that. So that's definitely um hugely inspiring to me. Uh Leah from Pizza Leah, obviously. Yep,
You
you
know,
got that.
my prized possession.
Yeah.
I'm a
Obviously
fan.
Lars from State of Mind. They
Yep.
were two old bosses of mine that became friends, and Leah's helped me a lot with my dough, so has Lars. Um and they just know so much about that. That's something I'm trying to learn. It's once you get into making dough with a starter and all these different flours, once you get into it, it's like it's just a rabbit hole. So to try to learn all those things, it's a lot to take in. So Lars and Leah helped. Tony Gemignani has helped me a ton, and he's been a huge mentor of mine for years and years and years. I mean, he was the first one to invite me on the World Pizza Champions, get me to Italy, get me sponsorship. he's got me a lot of TV shows, a lot of dough spinning events around the country. And, he got us Istanbul, which was one of the coolest places I've ever been. So Tony Gemignani would be a huge one. Chris Decker, John Arena, Laura Meyer. There's so many, but I would say those are the top for me. But yeah, there's just so much. What I like about the pizza world, or where it's headed and what it's become, is people aren't getting so like, my pizza's better than you, and that's how it is, and it doesn't need to be like that. There's so much business to go around, and the fact that everyone's kind of an open book, and I'll help you figure out dough. I don't need to hide my my recipe or not help you because I have too much pride to do it. I like that the pizza world is very supportive of one another. It's how pizza's gone to the next level. It's so much different than it was 10, 15 years ago with the starters and the all these different styles. And Tony Gemignani with the Pizza Bible also obviously helped push that a little bit, but it's a different feeling and a different ball game. And I personally love trying to reach that perfect pizza, which you'll never get to, obviously. Just pushing yourself and using friends' help to get to that next level of pizza greatness, I guess.
Yeah, no, hey, and you may push back and be uncomfortable with this, but I have to say that when I think of Justin Wadstein, and especially when I look at what you're posting, like the pizzas look fantastic, and I'm eager to try them whenever that works out. And I just feel like again, you might not be comfortable with this, but I sort of feel like there was a time that Tony Gemignani was the pizza spinning guy, right? And he's grown and developed and had to fight his way to become known for culinary as much as acrobatics. And I'm sure there was a time earlier in his career where you almost have to overcome that sort of box that people put you in. And I can sort of see that for you, because of the success that you've had with acrobatics, that people will think, oh yeah, Justin's the spinning guy, right? And I'm eager to watch as you take on more of culinary, because again, you've been doing it since you were little. You developed a great system at Pizza My Heart. You have some great coworkers and friends and that we've talked about. And there's no doubt in my mind that you can make that leap. And in that ways, when you talk about Tony Gemignani being a mentor, one of the ways I think he's really a mentor is that way, that growth and being able to do something more than people think you can do.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so excited to become known for cooking in some way. I don't have to be a champion necessarily, but to be known amongst, and Will Grant, sorry, it just popped. I knew there was someone I didn't. Will Grant from Sourdough Willie's is a huge
Will is awesome, and on the sourdough side, oh my god,
there's probably more, but yeah, to become known as someone who knows a lot about what they do, like their craft, wood-fired pizza for me right now is what it is. I put so much effort, and there's been literal blood, sweat, and tears trying to, when I left Pizza My Heart's not wood-fired. Where I was with my aunt years ago at Chianti's Pizza and Pasta Bar, not wood-fired. So I didn't have the money to go take a course in wood-fired pizza. I bought a wood-fired trailer and I'd never made a wood-fired pizza, so people don't see that struggle of dough disintegrating in your hands at an event and somehow pulling it off, but almost like in tears trying to get dough not to fall through my hands, and they're wondering why is that happening, and you have to learn as you go. And again, reaching out, Leah helped me one day, and it really helped me with my dough structure a lot. But you learn the whys. Why is that happening? And that's really important. It's an important step to get to that not happening at an event, and the stress level comes down and down as you learn more. But I would love to, when I go to Pizza Expo or wherever it might be, not only be like, hey, that's the guy that spins, but hey, that guy spins and he can make an amazing pizza.
Yeah.
That's the level I'm trying to get to. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're cheering for you and love watching your growth and progression. Love your passion for the craft. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, that I used to live in Santa Cruz, and from that standpoint, I feel a certain connection to all the people from the Bay Area, but to you in particular, and just really, really thankful that I was able to see you in person, because I gotta say, when I watch a video, it blows my mind, but having watched it in person and then watched the video, it really blows my mind. That being said, I think that you have an exciting future ahead, and we're cheering for you 100%. So,
well, thank you. I
yeah.
totally appreciate you guys reaching out, and I'm sure like everyone else, it's this next Pizza Expo, whenever that does happen, hopefully it's in August. It looks like it's pretty promising at this point.
Right.
It's going to be, the best Pizza Expo ever, because everyone's definitely ready to get out and celebrate pizza and move on. Everyone's learned a lot, but struggled a lot. So it's time for us to get together and celebrate,
Yeah, no, I think it'll be wonderful. Can't wait to see you in person, and we'll be following you on TikTok and everywhere else. So
perfect.
Yeah, Justin, thank you so much for your time, and stay safe, and we'll be watching you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Okay, we'll see you.